Welcome to week 6 of our 12-week mini series. We are re recording because we had a glitch. So, hopefully, my mic is on this time. I'm so sorry for everyone who showed up and could not hear me. I can't seem to get feedback on when the mic is here. So, we are on faith that the mic is working today. It's such a great series. We're going to start really applying a lot of the things that we have been building up to. We're going to start doing some somatic work, so it's going to be exciting. So definitely stay tuned. I'm going to keep an eye on that mic, make sure that all the power is on. And we're just going to hope that after 3 times actually recording this, the mic will pick up and we'll find out what that whole glitch is. So for those who came in live, thank you so much. I do really appreciate it. And hopefully this one you can actually hear all the good work that we're doing. So as always, we're going to just stop to really be able to settle in and get ready for the work that we're going to do. So I want you to kind of get cozy, roll those shoulders, drop them, unclench the jaw, let that tongue sink to the bottom of your mouth, feet flat on the floor, start making some biscuits. Slow that breath down. Breathe in and then breathe out for a little bit longer. We're going to do a 4 to 6, so just wait. It's coming. And for the past few weeks, we've been building some language together about survival, the bedrock, our old agreements, our performance as protection, and curiosity over push. And tonight, we're going to learn how to connect and listen to the language of the body, because the body is keeping our narratives. And a little background on this is you can understand a lot. We can learn with our bedrock sentences. We can design curiosity experiments. And yet, we can see our old patterns and know that we still feel stuck, because awareness will only get you so far. It's awareness before action. And the action is going to be creating stability and grounding the body, because narratives don't live in just thoughts. They're living in the nervous system. And so if you learned early on that it's not safe to rest, then your body is going to tighten when it slows down. And if you learn, if I shine, I will be criticized, then your chest is going to constrict anytime you try to step forward. This is not failure, it's survival. And if you ever said, I have to do this alone, why does it have to be me? I always have to be the one. You find that your shoulders may brace whenever you ask for help. This body will remember what the mind has tried to move on from. And as the body remembers and connects and tries to build systems for survival, what's happening is our cortisol is rising. And at about 90 seconds it takes to make homeostasis. And yet, because of the compound stresses that we have in life, what we find is that we're not resetting after 90 seconds. We're reigniting, reactivating over and over and over again. And the body cannot settle. And when cortisol is elevated for a long term, I'm checking on that mic, we see our baseline shift. And as the baseline shifts, what we see is that our homeostasis, our baseline, is under a stressed pattern. And we become reactionary. And everything around us is narrowed in on our focus, and we're just trying to survive. How many times have you just felt like, all I feel like I'm doing is surviving? I don't really feel like I have purpose. I don't feel like I'm doing anything. Because our muscles stay slightly tense, our breath becomes shallow, our jaws tighten. It does. And our stomach just kind of holds. And when your body is braced, your thoughts are going to follow. Batter, like, please let me know that you can hear me, because we are doing this again, and hopefully the sound is on. And so as our body is braced and the thoughts will follow, this is why we can't think our way out of survival. This is why you can't just be grateful, is because the body is going to make actions 100 times faster than the conscious mind can keep up. And so what we want to do is not just think positively, because we can't override survival. We need to be able to realize that the body will scan for threats and find a way to reset the body for safety. Margaret, let me know if you can hear. We are re-recording because we could not seem to find the video or the audio the last time. So I'm hoping the audio is tracking. I do see mic on. So let me know if you can't hear it. So positive thinking will not override, thank you, Margaret, override survival. You can't think your way out of safety. You must signal safety. And we're going to do that right here, right now, tonight. There's so much great work we're going to do. And so I want us to do a 60-second safety signal. We're going to practice something very simple, a way to tell our body that we're safe, you're okay. This is called down regulation. This is how we connect back in instead of kind of like a band, a stretch band. And I know it's controversial, but if you look at polyvagal theory, the anatomy is correct. The neuroscience is still being debated. And so what's happening right there in the amygdala, there's multiple inputs happening. And in the VVC, what is happening is it's actually kind of like pressing on a brake. And then when stress comes on, it's like releasing the brake, because now we need to start getting in survival mode. And in 90 seconds, that resets. But because there is so many stressors on our day-to-day, whether it's like we got a stressful email or an email from our boss and we're already not feeling safe, it feels like a lion. Like the body literally thinks a lion's attacking it because we saw a notification that an email came from our boss. For those who do our free self-paced course, Mastering the Inner Game, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. We're actually going to walk through that as we look at the neuroscience of our reactions. And as that is happening, then the fight, flight, or freeze comes in. And as that is coming in, or fight or flight, I should say, comes in. And as that is coming in, the brake is being released, and all of the cortisol, all of the survival is coming in. And we can't put the brake back down because there's too much stress coming on us. So this safety signal that we're about to do is going to be reigniting that brake, because the brake it's not really natural. You have to keep pushing. You have to actively push it. And so what we're trying to do is create a homeostasis, a baseline, where this is locked in and we have to release the brake when needed and only when needed, when we want to build that response and not keep in these reactionary states. So we're going to do an activity, and that is we're just going to ground a little bit. I want you to sit slightly back. I really want you to feel your spine supported if you can. You're going to press your feet to the floor. Just really feel the floor, feel your back, and that you are engaged in this position. And what we're going to do is just gently inhale for 4 and exhale for 6. And I want you to keep your own pace because I don't want you to get into a top-down or up-down process right now. I just want you to find your pace just slowly. We're going to do it 3 to 4 breaths. You're just going to go in 4 for whatever your pace is and out for 6. So just take a few moments. Inhale for 4 on your count that feels comfortable with you. A lot of times we don't want to necessarily hold our breath. I know that box breathing offers that, but sometimes that can panic the nervous system. So just a natural lower cadence of breath. That's all we're doing. We're just taking a little bit of a deeper breath in, a little bit slower than we normally do. And then we're going to go a deeper breath out. I did this twice at the 7 o'clock hour when we're supposed to do it. Neither time did the volume or the audio check. But you know what did check? My limbic system. I didn't go over 67 on my pulse rate. Do you know how good that is for live feed and it's not working? Man, the body does keep score, and we can retrain it to tell it to be calm. And as you notice your inhale for 4, exhale for 6, I want you to imagine your body starting to soften just by 5%, not 100, not all or nothing, just like 5%. Just notice a little dropping in the shoulder. Give yourself space in that jaw. Find that diaphragm and bring it in. Just 5%, just a little bit of noticing of what the body can do. And when you do that, notice what shifts, because that you just told your nervous system that we're not in danger. And that's how we update the soil. And so as you're doing the 4 to 6, just stick with it. All it's doing is down regulating, allowing you a rest and digest space. We're going to go deeper into how to identify where your narrative lives in your body. And then we're going to just release it gently. Now this is somatic therapy. We're going to do some somatic mapping, some very broad stuff. I am a licensed mental health counselor. I do this with my clients all the time. As a traumatologist, I do not treat people in their trauma in their past. I treat them in their present. I need you to stay present with me. And if at any time you start to slip into old thought patterns and your past comes up, I need you to do the 5 senses. We're not going to get that deep, I promise, but I do want people to always feel safe and know that they have something that they can do to stay present. I will not abandon you. And if you want individualized support, I am here to support you. Book a coaching session. The 5 senses are, if you start to get lost in any reason, we shouldn't. We're calming our system down, but just in case, 5 things I see, 4 things count, touch and count. I hear. 3 things I touch, 2 things I smell, 1 thing I taste. If you get distracted, that's what we're going to do. But we're going to stay on 4 in, 6 out. 4 in, 6 out. And as you do that, we're going to start mapping our body. I'm going to share with you some of the bedrock sentences from 2 weeks ago. You can always go check it out. It's 2 weeks. I'll put the link in. And as you're hearing this, 4 in, 6 out. I want you to hear this and then notice, okay? 4 in, 6 out. I'm right here with you. Listen to these sentences and just notice what your body is responding. I am not enough. It won't last. I have to do it all alone. Why does it always have to be me? Notice. Where do you feel this? In your chest? In your stomach? You can't see my stomach. In your throat? That weight, the frog. In your shoulders? In that jaw? Where do you notice? Because this is where that narrative lives. So if you want to come with me, notice it, see it, keep breathing. 4 in, 6 out. You're telling your body you are safe. 4 in, 6 out. I am safe. And feel it. There's nothing wrong. There's no failure here. It's survival. You're feeling the narrative that is holding you in survival, keeping you from wondering what's the point, honestly, in many ways. And as we're there, we're going to do a somatic release technique. Notice where your narrative is anchoring. We're not going to force it out. We're not pushing. Remember, curiosity, presence, let life present. We're creating safety around this narrative. This narrative is a cave to say. Got some Cajun in me this morning or this evening. This narrative kept you safe. So nurture it. Understand why it's there. Respect why it's there. It didn't make you fail. It allowed you to survive. And so slowly we're going to release it. So the first step is going to be just name the area. You can silently say, I feel this in my chest. I feel the weight in my shoulders. Feel the tightness in my jaw. I feel the choking, the suffocation in my throat. Place your hand there. If it's appropriate, place your hand there. Just put some pressure in that space. It does feel good. Nurture yourself. Own. That space let you survive. There's more resiliency than you will ever be able to give yourself credit for. And breathe slowly, giving yourself permission to have that space. 4 in, 6 out. And as you exhale slowly, say internally, I don't have to hold this alone anymore. This is not dramatic. It's subtle. It's being in a place, leaning in like a Chinese finger trap. We lean in to get out. And as we lean in and find that presence, we retrain our body on what safety and presence looks like, what voluntary and involuntary muscle has. This is stuff that is what we get into in our work together. And the reality is it's all about regulating in a subtle manner, just being present, letting life present. And ultimately, what we're going to get to is that rewiring happens through repetition. One regulated breath does not erase your bracing, but repetition does build safety. The mind is constantly seeking consistency and predictability. And here I go. I can't not do this. And so, as I even think about mindfulness, I can't not sit up straight, hand on heart, hand on stomach. Take a deep breath. I have trained my body that every time the word mindfulness comes into my mind, I sit up straight, hand on chest, hand on stomach. And I take a deep breath because the repetition we build in the times where we feel safe and unactivated is how we build the motor memory for when activation happens. These are the times we take this time. It's usually at 7 p.m. So I hope you can make it next week. At 7 p.m. is when we have our mini course. And we do the breathing to ground at first. We learn a lesson. We breathe. We do an activity. We breathe some more. We start to build that that's how we are learning, is we place this mind-body connection in between the things that we're learning to let go, to build awareness, let go of the judgment, acceptance, and then we start to learn activities on how to apply it. And although one regulated breath will not erase years of this bracing and this stress, it will build safety. And every time you extend that exhale, just 1 or 2 seconds longer than the inhale, you drop those shoulders intentionally. You sit. Again, that little thread that comes up, because you cannot look at a phone if you are imaginarily balancing a book on your head. And you pause instead of push, you're going to teach your body a new baseline. You're going to teach your body to finally pause. Let curiosity update the mind. And then regulation update the body. So as we are building from 1 week to the next, we talked about curiosity last week, or we talked about push last week. We talked about curiosity in week 4. We talked about the bedrock in week 3 and the narratives that we're building. We're slowly, incrementally finding these micro steps to understanding how to rebuild and get beneath the soil, because you have to go below in order to effectively tend the garden that you want above. And when that body feels safer, surface behaviors shift without force, without pushing. And as we are wrapping up, again, 4 on the inhale, 6 on the outhale, exhale. I did it again. Outhale, exhale. I want you to notice something. If you feel slightly calmer right now, noting in your external world nothing at all, and that external world has changed. Only your physiology did. You are not stuck because you lack discipline. You're stuck because your body learned to brace, to find safety in that stoic nature. So as we inhale and exhale, we take this time to find our longer exhale, to practice one safety signal daily. those feet on the floor, softening the shoulders 5%, taking that time to take that noticeable breath. Slow down, reset, and we will be live again at 7 o'clock next Tuesday, Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope the audio did come through this time. I've got so much good work. We have workbooks, we have the neurohumanity philosophy, which is feeding our empowering wellness services. And so the framework is a whole neurohumanity philosophy. This is all about survival. Everything that we are doing is predictable. It's helping us survive. So you can't be mad at it. It's just another organ trying to survive. It's primitive lizard brain. The stuff was built at the very beginning and the neocortex was going around it. And yet, all that brain that's being built around it, and it still is number one. And what we're trying to do is not make that number one. We're trying to let that kind of retire out. Go to what was meant to happen, which is to go in on this neocortex that was built around it. And so if this is something you want to do, that you're tired of just surviving, being on that hamster wheel of life, feeling like you're doing so much, you follow all the programs, and yet it doesn't feel like it goes anywhere, remember, you can't buy motivation. You own your motivation, and it's encapsulated with your value and capacity. And stress is concrete poured on value and capacity, which takes that motivation. So if you want to access this, that value and capacity, we've got it for you. We chip it away with micro steps, the micro capacities, with these micro acceptances. And as we lift that off, the positive flow state comes because we're no longer forcing and pushing change, which is only causing us to shut down and getting in that bedrock that makes us be like, I can't access that narrative anymore, which pulls us into the tar pit of the mind. Instead, we learn where we are. We are present. There's no hierarchy. It doesn't matter where you are. It matters that you're present because guess what? We have a spectrum to walk you out of it. We're not going to just be grateful. We're going to be present. We're going to realize that logically I know, emotionally I can't feel. And how do we micro step through it? If this is something you want, please subscribe, connect with me, ask me more questions. This is my passion. This is my purpose in life. I love answering questions. I'm Jennifer Evans with Empowering Wellness Counseling Solutions, and Neurohumanity is our philosophy and our Substack. Thank you so much.